So here's what we're going to do. We're going to work on our introduction. Now, there's a couple things that you need to have open. First, you need to have your brainstorm. So this is on paper. You should have it completed. If your brainstorm is not completed and you do not have a stamp on your brainstorm, then you're not ready and you need to go back and do that first. Once you have a stamp on your brainstorm, you're ready to move on to the introduction paragraph. Okay, so we should have that. We should also have the instruction slides open, so they should look like this. And we should have our actual document open. So once you have that open, it's going to look like this. Okay? All right, so if we look at our instructions, this is going to be the format of your paragraph. So the first thing you're going to do is your hook, your background information, and your thesis. Now we're going to focus just right now on the hook. So if I look here, I've got some examples of good hooks, right? First of all, your hook is meant to grab your reader's attention. So you can do that by posing an interesting fact or by asking a question. So you're going to pick one sentence for your hook. Do you have to use these sentence frames? Absolutely not. You can come up with your own sentence. That's totally fine. But if you're stuck, I want you to use one of these sentence frames. So you're either going to put, did you know that? And then give me an interesting fact about, or ask me a question that has to do with injustice in general. Or one interesting fact about injustice is blank. So pick one. I'm going to go with, did you know that? That's usually, honestly, my favorite hook for kind of any essay because that can work for any topic. Did you know that? We're going to go ahead and copy it. And then we're going to put it right here in our sentence. Oh, you know what? We know it'd be a good idea. Let's split screen it. That way I can see all of it. Yeah, let's do that. There we go. Okay. So, cool. I have my hook. Did you know that? Give me something about injustice. Did you know that Native Americans have been facing injustice for hundreds of years in the Americas? Did you know that thousands of Native Americans have died due to injustice? Did you know that? Whatever. So I'm going to have you pause and finish this step right now. Okay, now that you have finished the hook, we're going to move on to the next section. The next section is the background information. So remember, the background information is just information that you need to give your reader in order for them to understand the context of your essay. So you are pretending that the person who is reading your essay has no idea what you're talking about. They don't know about injustice. They don't know about Native Americans. They don't know about any of these things. They don't know about Christopher Columbus. They don't know about the Trail of Tears. They don't know any of that. So you need to give them enough information to be able to understand what you're talking about in your essay. So I have given you 3 sentence frames. Again, you do not need to use these sentence frames, but they are here for you. You are going to use all 3. If you use them, you're going to use all 3 of these sentence frames, not just one, all of them. So I'm going to go ahead and copy all of these. And I'm going to paste them right there. Injustice is blank. What does injustice mean? Some people think injustice is based on what do some people think? Why do some people think injustice happens? Other people believe injustice is motivated by blank. What's another reason that people think injustice happens? Okay? So I'm going to have you stop, answer these sentences, and then come back. All right, so now that we've done the background information, we need to move on to our thesis statement. Okay, now the thesis statement you should already have the sentence written down. It should be on your brainstorm. It should be down here. Okay, but if you don't have it, here is the sentence frame that you'll need. Injustice against indigenous people is primarily motivated by blank, because of blank, blank, and blank. So again, I'm going to copy and paste that. And then here I should be putting injustice against indigenous people is primarily motivated by bias or financial gain. You're picking a side because blank, blank, and blank. And remember, these 3 reasons are coming from our brainstorm. They should be here. So if I wanted, so to give you an example, let's say I chose bias. I would say injustice against Indigenous peoples primarily motivated by bias because, here's my first reason, because there was a civilization, oops, thank you for spelling that correctly, campaign to assimilate Native Americans and make them like white Americans. Cool. Then give me another reason. Because Native Americans were forced to be in residential schools to become like white Americans. And the Spanish forced Native Americans to convert to Catholicism. Whatever your reasons are, those reasons should be right here on your brainstorm. You should already have them. So this sentence should be way easy because you're just copying and pasting. You're just plugging it in. Okay? So I want you to stop. Go do the thesis statement right now. Okay, now that we're done with each section of our introduction paragraph, we need to fix this. Oh, actually, let's come back here. We need to fix this. So we need to make sure that first of all, that we're in the right order and that we have color coded correctly. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to get rid of these bullet points. And I'm going to make sure it's in paragraph format. So I'm not going to leave it like that. That's not in paragraph format. I'm going to click delete again so that it goes up to meet with the last sentence. And then again, now I need to make sure that my essay is color-coded correctly. The hook should be in orange. So the hook is that first sentence. I'm going to go ahead and put that in orange up here. Change it to orange. My background information should be in that purpley pink. So all of these sentences right here are the background information. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight that in that purpley pink. And then the last sentence, my thesis statement, is in yellow. So that's going to stay in yellow. And remember, this is one sentence. Just one. Okay? Now that I've double checked, I made sure I had each section, I've color coded it correctly. I'm just gonna real quick do a great spelling and grammar check. I'm gonna click that, change to its, which, oh, I can ignore that one. Cool. Everything looks good. So now that it looks good, I can go ahead and turn it in. So I'm gonna go back to Google Classroom and I'm gonna go ahead and turn in. Yes, you make sure to turn it in. If it's not turned in, I'm not going to be grading it. Please and thank you. And then that's it. You're done with that paragraph.